Hello, hello. It's been a while. It's been actually I missed a couple of weeks. A lot has been going on. Had a few health challenges, but God blessed us to work through it. How are you? How have you been? Hopefully, life is treating you well. This is Tony Burris, life coach, personal development, e-business consultant, man of God. And we're looking for a few good men and women who want to help themselves and leave the world better than how we found it. And so, my goal in doing these videos is to help people at the end of the day. So, if nothing more than helping myself to get a better understanding, that's always cool. So I want to thank you for being here today. And once again, Tony Burris, life coach, personal developer. Our website is www.allthoughtsmatter.com. And also, you can reach us at 404. Let me find it. It's right here. And I should have it. But anyway, I'll get back to the phone number. I hadn't written it down. Oh, here it is. But the phone number that you can reach us at is 404 I wanted to do this as unscripted as possible. There's so many great people on YouTube and everything that do such a beautiful job. I look at their websites and I look at their all the stuff that that's out there. It's some great content and it's some not so good content. So I decided to do Dynamic Laws of Prosperity. I don't know whether you can see it. And today we're on chapter 9. Okay, just to let you know. It says work, a mighty channel for prosperity. A lot of times, being in this thing called life, we were taught to grow up and go to work. Either we learned that as a child, go work on your homework, help your mom or dad do the work in the kitchen or out in the field, wherever you're at. And today that might be a little bit different. It may be a little bit more digital, little bit more like cell phones and that type of stuff. And I'm on a laptop now and I'm communicating to you. And today we doing Dynamic Laws of Prosperity. Catherine Ponder, work at Mighty Channel. So I'm gonna probably be reading a few things out of that, and the attitude, my attitude towards work can be one of positive and negative. It can be like, I'm really not feeling this going to work. It's you might say to yourself, oh, this, for lack of a better word, it sucks. I hate this place. Blah blah blah. You bashing it. And you ain't really feeling work. Because it's not fun and. Because things tend to, with work, especially when you're young, it starts out as fun, exciting. I'm going to rule the world, and you probably are going to rule the world. But whatever energy that you put into it, that's what you get out of it. And people notice that. Sometimes the people in customer service, some of them may not need to be in customer service because of quote unquote people skills, and they don't understand that that customer in their store is not only buying a product or service, they also, you're part of the whole overall thing. If I'm going to a place and places to have food to eat, my waitress, waiter, or the person who's taking my order, it feels good when they're pleasant, and it also feels the other way, like they're overwhelmed, and you're part of the overwhelming. And y'all, you go there and you may say, man, this place is getting on my nerves or whatever. It's going to show in your attitude. So your attitude plays a big part. Because at the same time, if you're thinking about this, and you on the other perspective, and you're at a place that you enjoy working, they're paying you great, and I don't know what that is, but if you got that place, God bless you. That's why I do what I do, because of there has to be something else to this whole process. There has to be some additional information that they left out. Who knew? And so as I approach this and my need to understand myself so I can share that with others, and hopefully my 50 years of working, I've been working since I'm a kid. I know I still look young, Thank you. And I want to say that I am. You're only as old as you feel, and whatever you're going through, it's going to change. But back to the work thing, when you think about it, percentage wise, we're going to spend roughly about 70-75% of our life. If an average person lives to be 80, and half of 80, if you take middle age, that's 40. So at 40 years old, that's considered quote unquote middle age. They say 50, but there's not a hundred. There's not a lot of 100-year olds out there, And thank God for people who are. Thank God for my mom. She'll be 95 in 60 days from here. So I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for you being here again. But anyway, we have this perspective, and when you break it down, the work week, is 7 days. You work five, so that's 75% there. So we spend more time going to work than away from work in most cases, and that is why we have to find a path of enlightenment. If you're going to do this thing, do it to a perspective of love, a perspective of putting good energy into it, because the energy you get in is what you're going to get out of it. Because everybody, even over the phone, I think I've shared that before. We can tell over the phone whether you're having a good day, or you're bugging me. What do you want, sir or ma'am? And you're doing customer service. So all of this is relevant to the fact that what we put in, and in this book, attitudes can make the difference, and your attitude certainly can. It can win people over, or it can turn their stomach against you. And say work is divine. No matter what work you're doing, make it count. Do the best job you can possibly do, because somebody's always watching, somebody's always listening, and in this day and age, in the 2024 age, there's a camera, there's something stuck everywhere. You can see the local news, and they'll always lead with an incident happened, but they'll attach a credentials to it. They can say, oh, the head waitress at the restaurant and blah 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 went off, or the head, the president of the foundation was caught doing blah blah blah, and it could be regular folk, be like, oh yeah, we caught so and so, but when they attach like some credentials to it, it becomes like the more important than the act that this person that's supposed to be such a iconic person was caught doing whatever, and we all fall short, and that's the reality. So be careful how we treat the day, and careful how we treat each other. And on this page, I'm going to read a quick quote. It says, Professor William James once stated that 90% of us are using only 10% of our mind power. Psychologists believe that every human being is a dynamo of concentrated creative energy, which is ever seeking new avenues of expression. And that's on this page here. And I don't mind showing you. I want this to be as an impromptu. I'm not making this up, but I'm not only I'm living by what I'm seeing. I'm not just saying it and repeating it, because you can get the book yourself. I already said that. But this helps to enlighten you, and it's the thing with the experience is that you can either gain it yourself, take the 10 or 20 years out of your life and do it, or cut it down to 5 and let somebody like myself or someone that's already done it can shorten the learning curve. And so that's the blessing of having all this technology, is it shortens the learning curve, but the maturity process still has to happen. All right, so that's imperative, and your present circumstances are for a purpose. Everything you do is for a purpose. And if it's nothing but going out and trying to take care of yourself and your family, that's a purpose. If you have, maybe you're trying to get some finances together to go on a trip, take your kids on a trip, or maybe you want to go on a trip. Whatever it is, everything has a purpose, and you having a perfect attitude towards work is not easy. Concerning how to discipline or perfect your attitudes and reactions, here are a few suggestions. Your entire outlook may be wrong, like some unfortunate people at work sometimes, but don't let that poison you or make you bitter towards the environment that you're in. Because we all see and we feel it, Because like I learned when I was in corporate America and I was going through a situation that was loss of a loved one, and I was like, hey, I'm always let's go positivity, let's go, and I'm thinking that no one's noticing that, like they noticed I'm up here and I'm trying to be this upbeat person. Yeah, let's do it. Let's make this project a success. But going through the loss of a loved one at that time, someone asked me, says, everything okay? And I'm thinking, I'm like, fool, I'm faking the funk, and they don't even know. Yeah, I'm just up here, but like people know it's this, and then it's this, and that's a big difference. Your attitude shows on the outside, but it starts on the inside. Believe me. So present the best version of yourself, and at all possibilities at work, at home, because people notice, they care about you, and so make sure that you do that. What are you doing about any dissatisfactions that you have? If there's a work thing or a money thing, whatever the thing that's eating at you, affecting you, what are you doing about it? Because it's going to show. If it's affecting the inside, it's going to show on the outside. Best believe that. So, what are you doing about correcting your dissatisfaction or the things that you're not happy with? How can you direct it? The first thing I would say is accept that you're feeling that way. And what can you really do about it? It's like some things you can't do anything about. It's the serenity prayer. God grant me serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. There's some stuff I can change, and there's some stuff I can't change. So what should my focus be? Try to change what I can, and leave the rest to the Creator, the God Almighty, Christ, whatever deity you pray to. You're just going to turn it over to them, or turn it over to whatever power that is that you have. Or you can struggle with it and try to fix it yourself. Either way, it's not going to change unless it's supposed to, and we have to give things time. And time, acronym for time is things I must experience. 4 things. So, also, things cannot improve in an outer way until things change in an inner way, because the inner processes of the mind control all the outer experiences of our lives. So it starts on the inside, shows on the outside. So no matter what we put on the outside, if the inside ain't addressed, then it's gonna look like you're looking like 5-star on the outside. You got on all the right gear and everything's coordinated and you're looking sharp, but when you open your mouth and you start communicating with people, they're not seeing the sharpness anymore. They hear the tone of dissatisfaction. They hear the tone of disappointment. They hear the tone of, I wish my life were better, but you're trying to dress it up and they say that. But for every problem, there is a solution. It is yes, no, or wait by the Creator. I'm a firm believer in spirituality and God and Christ and all those things. But what I do is I practice this thing. I stay open to all and have an opinion about nothing. That's my best perspective in life, because I don't know enough to be a pessimist, no matter how bad it is, no matter how terrible I think my life is at the time. If you listen long enough, you'll say, wow, while I know my situation is dire at this moment, but I still take mine over what somebody else is going. So, because the point being, I was talking with my sister earlier and my wife earlier today. Everybody goes through something, no matter who you are. You're either coming out of a storm or getting ready to go into another one. So, whatever state of mind I'm in, I need to do my best and try to be as content as possible, because this too will pass eventually. And it says, divine intelligence, what's positive, constructive, creative thought, word, attitude, or action is my next step to improve my present work. What is the next step into the abundance, satisfaction, and freedom that is mine and my divine work? It's your right to be successful, and it's your right to be happy if you choose to be. If not, then what's the opposite of happiness? Unhappiness. What's the opposite of prosperity? Poverty. What's the opposite of working? Unemployed. What's the opposite of up? Is down. There's always an opposite to everything. My job is to process my thinking and try to figure out what is the solution, and talking to people, trying to encourage you. If you want to check this out, if you want to get outside of a funk or whatever you're feeling, go and just say something nice to somebody. Just walk up to them one day and say, "Hey, I think you're doing an amazing job at whatever place you're at. I appreciate you. I come in here often. I always see you're hard at work, and you tend to be a very good person at what you're doing. Now, I want to say that I appreciate you and everything you do. You always make my experience here very pleasant." Just try little things like that, because you're giving a blessing, you're also receiving one too. So that's something that I've learned too. Um, yes, and so I'm just pointing out some things, and I'm reading out of the book. This is a time of satisfaction, satisfying completion. I lose and let go of this day. Divine intelligence establishes only good from it. All else fades away. So we're dealing with energy. We're dealing with positive energy and not so positive energy. And I have to remember the principles of physics, and it says, which states that the entire universe is in constant motion, that we live, move, and have our being in an ocean of motion, though with our five senses we do not fully recognize it. Because there's things happening, the earth is moving, everything's moving around us. There's no such thing as standing still or stagnation. You might be standing still, but life is going to keep on moving. So the energy of work and what you're bringing to the table is very, very important. And I'm going to read some more here. I'm going to just keep on going. I am not confined to the ways and methods of the past. I experienced my perfect work in a perfect way, which now renders me perfect satisfaction and perfect pay. So here's a metaphor. I do awesome work for an awesome pay. I make an awesome way out of an awesome day. Little stuff just to change your little words can make a big difference. A little hit of encouragement, a little like, thank you, appreciate you. Appreciate you is very, very powerful. I remember when my nephew said that, to appreciate you. And I was like, wow, that felt good. Thank you and appreciate you, they're essentially the same thing. But when someone says, I appreciate you, sounds good. Just try telling someone even, I appreciate you. That could be a game changer in the vibe that you're getting. I appreciate my job. I appreciate my family. I appreciate my spouse. I appreciate my children. I appreciate the company that I'm in. I appreciate having the ability to go to work today, or whatever you're doing. I appreciate that my situation, whatever it is getting better. And so, and also I have to watch out for criticism. There's no criticism in me for me or against me. The supreme law of good is now in charge of my life, and divine harmony now reigns supreme in me and in my world. And I fairly sizzle with zeal and enthusiasm, and spring forth with mighty faith to do things that ought to be done by me. And I'm going to read 5 other things at the back. And it says, as nearly as you can, form a mental picture of what you want your life to be like. So you have to picture it, how it is and how would you like for it to be. And so after forming a picture of what you desire, begin developing and living your desire mentally. Begin thinking of the desired results as though they were already obtained. You thereby take mental possession of your desired good and quicken its manifestation. So it starts in the head, but it starts in the heart and then goes to the head, because if it goes into the head first, then it has to make sense. Emotions are going to be taxed with this sense. But what does your heart say? What do you really believe? Ask divine intelligence to show you the next step toward attaining your desired picture of good. You will be shown whether it means going to night school for more courses of study, making drastic changes in your work and the way of life, or developing a more constructive attitude about your present job and its potential. As you are shown the next step, boldly follow it in faith, knowing that it can lead only to richer satisfaction. Here's the thing. I was speaking to one of my clients. I said, you're in the hallway of success. I said, what do you mean the hallway of success? So imagine you have door 1, door 2, door 3. And so you're in the hallway, so I don't know which door to take. Let's say, you worked on yourself, you're sharp, you're marketable, you got all these opportunities, but you don't know which one to take. What has to happen at that point is like, what is it that I really, really want to do? And money, believe it or not, should not be the deciding factor. And although sometimes, a lot of times it is, because if I can make 100,000 versus 150,000, I'm going with the 150 if I'm going to be doing the same thing. But the passion and what I'm going to do is at the 100,000 job, let's say in this example, but the 150 is a little bit more outside of my core beliefs or whatever. So you have these opportunities. You got door 1, door 2, door 3. So the only way for that to work is you got to make a decision. Go through, pick a door and say, hey, I'm just going to pick a door. You get in the door and you find all these gifts and all this stuff. You find a little bit of adversity. You find some growth there. So in order for things to happen, we have to make a decision. Only decision that really is going to hurt me is the one that I don't make. And sometimes not making a decision is a decision, but nonetheless, in this example, you have to walk through the door of opportunity, and it's what's on the other side can be the door of growth, the door of getting better, and we don't know unless we go through the door. So make that decision, feel confident in it, pray about it, think about it, talk about it, do whatever you do, but make that decision or it'll be made for you. All right. Persist and persevere in knowing that congenial work can and shall be yours. Emerson said that everything has a price, and if that price is not paid, then not that being, the price is not paid, then not being something else is obtained. So persist in paying the price in inner and outer ways, and you'll gain from life what you truly desire. And then also in the last statement, continue giving your best in your present situation, even though you may be mentally living beyond it. And above all, keep your spirits high through the law of saturation. There's so many laws and principles. In closing, I want to just share with you, thank you for being patient with me today. I just do these things and I put them together in the spirit of wanting to help people because my focus of my business is to help as many people as possible who want to help themselves and leave the world better than how I found it. And if I've done anything to inspire you and encourage you, thank you. You know how to get in contact with me. This is a YouTube video. It's going to be. So I'm here. I'm here to serve and not to sell anything, because the thing is, people know what they want and they know what they don't want. And so my job is to share my knowledge, experience, and information, and hopefully it'll connect with you in some capacity, or share it with someone who you think that it might connect with. So once again, this is Tony B, and I need you to keep being amazing, and I want you to trust the process, that wherever you're going, that you take good order direction, take God with you, but be of service to others, and so that you can be a blessing to yourself and to your family today. We're all we got, and so I cherish that, and thank you for being here today. And with that, it's just impromptu, and I'm thinking to myself, I should edit. Look, this is the video, this is the day, this is the time, and if we connect, awesome. If not, pass it along to somebody who will. Bye for now and take care.